The Slipknot drama, which at this point seems like it's never ending, continues as early Sunday afternoon it was announced that the band had departed with longtime drummer Jay Weinberg. But then as soon as I sat down to work on this video, the band had removed the posts of the announcement from their social media. Let's dive in. On Sunday afternoon, Slipknot, who, by the way, just played their most recent show this past weekend on Friday at the somewhat disastrous Hell in Heaven Fest in Mexico, released the following statement on social media announcing the departure of longtime drummer Jay Weinberg, writing, "We would like to thank Jay Weinberg for his dedication and passion over the past 10 years. No one can ever replace Joey Jordison's original sound, style, or energy, but Jay honored Joey's parts and contributed to the last 3 albums, and we, the band, and the fans appreciate it. But as ever, Slipknot is intent on evolving. The band has decided to make a creative decision and to part ways with Jay. We wish Jay all the best and are very excited for what the future holds." Just a few hours after making the announcement, though, the band suddenly removed the post. Although this is, of course, the internet, and as we know, nothing is truly ever gone forever. That said, though, as of 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, the statement was actually still up on their website, although not on their social media, if it ever will return. I also don't religiously check their website, but on their homepage, they have a close-up of each member that you can hover over, and then it will enlarge the photo and show their names, except for Craig's replacement. But there is no Jay to be found. Now, not saying maybe he never was there and they didn't remove him in the wake of this announcement, but I have a hard time believing that that would be the case. I can't imagine a world where they will have Michael Pfaff, otherwise known as Tortilla Man, and not have Jay Weinberg on the website. That doesn't make any sense. This news comes just following the band unveiling a brand new mask dubbed the Maggot Mask 002, which is a revamped version of what you see on the cover of Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses, which is available for purchase. And while that, of course, isn't the least bit newsworthy at all, what is of likely some importance is the timer on the website where you get the mask, takeyourfaceoff.com. As I see it on Sunday evening, it appears that you have until Monday at noon to get the mask, and then it goes away. But supposedly, I guess when this thing went up on Friday, which I did not see it at that time, I only saw it last night, it seemed that something else was being teased aside from just a new mask that you can buy. And that, coupled with the recent announcement of Jay being let go from the band, I would most certainly venture to bet that something is definitely coming soon from Slipknot. Definitely quite a bit shocking to hear, and certainly not something that I think anyone was expecting, but this is certainly just the latest and a fair bit of Slipknot drama just in 2023. As we have previously discussed on this show, a number of different things related to the knot, most notably, of course, the departure of the wildly underrated Craig Jones, which happened similarly to this, just kind of happened out of nowhere. Now, anytime things like this happen, everybody is very, very quick to point fingers at Corey Taylor, myself included at times. I'm sure I'm definitely guilty of this. And when all the Craig stuff happened a few months back, or whatever it was, I did a video on it, and funny enough, just this week, somebody left an interesting comment on that video. Before we jump into that, though, as Halloween just ended, maybe you struggled to find a mask that properly fit your head, and the other 364 days out of the year, you like to wear a hat, but you just can't ever find one that fits. In that case, check out Mammoth Headwear. I'm actually wearing their hat right now, and it really does fit me like a dream. You can check out the link below and use promo code Logan at checkout for 10% off your order. It's not just hats either. They got all sorts of stuff, shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, all that kind of stuff. Mammoth Headwear is the undisputed place to go if you have a massive head like I do. All right, now here is the comment that somebody left on my "What the hell is going on with Slipknot" video about Craig's departure. "Why is everyone always blaming Corey? Because the band has changed. He does have his own projects to do, his other shit. And obviously, if the rest of the band hates the quote-unquote sound that's evolving, they could always kick him out or do whatever. People act like Corey is the leader and pushes everyone to do drastically different things they don't want to do, and that's not the case. To that point, a recent interview just came out with Corey Taylor, with the title being a quote from the interview that reads, "With Stone Sour, 9 times out of 10, I was better than the guitar player we had in the band." In the interview, he continues, quote, "So I said, fuck it, I'll just handle it. I'm writing all the music anyway. I might as well be the guy who's leading the charge. And then we'll just get a good rhythm guitar player to kind of go with it." Elsewhere in that interview, he goes, "When I first started, I was almost always better than the drummer I was in a band with. So whenever we would do demos, I would play all the drums. But then I had to make a choice. I wanted to sing. I don't want to do both. I don't want to be Phil Collins. I want to just sing." Now, look, personally, I am a fan of Corey's. I love Slipknot. I love Stone Sour. Some of his solo stuff is pretty cool. I've also met him, and he really is a fantastic guy. But when you say things like that, you more or less lead Slipknot with Clown. You go out and heavily focus on a solo career, essentially pushing both Slipknot and Stone Sour, especially Stone Sour, to the side. Now there's 2 essentially unexplained recent lineup changes. When you mix all that stuff together, it's extremely difficult for people to not point fingers. Not to mention a couple of other things as well. For one, there's been talks of the band continuing on without any of the original or key members, much like Kiss. And for 2, both Corey and Clown's kids are now following in their dad's respective footsteps, with Corey's son Griffin fronting the band Vended, along with Clown's son Simon Cran on drums. And so maybe that's the direction that things are heading. Who knows? It would be a little surprising to see that happen, though, as even though there was certainly some skepticism when Vended was first announced, like, you know, these kids are going to ride their dad's coattails or whatever. But for the most part, there seems to be a fair bit of decent reception of the band. And they're also on tour right now with Bullet for My Valentine across the U.S. So I doubt that would happen with Simon replacing Jay, at least anytime soon. But if we're being honest, Simon is also the guy who probably makes the most sense. So it could certainly happen. Anything is possible, especially with Slipknot these days. I mean, who knows what the hell's going on? Nobody has a clue. All of this to say that it is most certainly a bummer that Jay Weinberg is no longer with the band, as I always felt he was a respectable choice to replace the irreplaceable Joey Jordison. So all the best to him, and looking forward to see what comes next from Jay. You know, at this point, let's be honest, unless your name is Corey Taylor or Sean Cran, nobody seems to be safe from the Slipknot chopping block. I don't really see the rest of the key members going anywhere anytime soon. I just think there'd be way too much uproar. But this is Slipknot. Who knows what will happen as far as future lineup changes, and even as far as this week. I would not be surprised in the slightest if we reconvene here in a day or two with even more news of the 9. Slipknot is definitely not as exciting to me as they once were, and it really is starting to feel like this is the beginning of the end so far. All right, though, I gotta run. My fiance is waiting for me to slip inside of her, and even though it is that time where she's on the Chapeltown rag, I gotta go. But thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks to Mammoth Headwear for sponsoring this video, where you can go to mammothheadwear.com, use code Logan at checkout for 10% off your order, and I will see you next time.